And I wanted to get the other gentleman we were talking about.
Oh, Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't there the other night.
Okay.
He's a good old boy.
Yeah. Okay, Howard, keep this with your stuff. That says you were interviewed on this date and at the tape, and you're on tape 37.
Okay.
And the tape is in the Portsmouth Public Library. It'll be in the shelf in the Portsmouth Public Library. In fact, when I'm finished with you, then I can take this tape down there and put it on the shelf because you're the last one on this tape.
Last one on the tape.
Uh-huh. So let's let me ask you a few questions here.
Okay.
You told me your name, Howard Lewis White, and you told me your date of birth, and that was July 19th, 1930. Okay. Where were you born?
Right up here in what they call Happy Hollow.
Happy Hollow.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the house still there?
No, they just tore it down 3 or 4 years
Oh,
ago.
did they? Let's see. What house would that be up there?
That was the old Krell place.
Krell place.
Set right on the inside of the sharp curve.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and we're at your house now. What is this address?
This is,
Your address here, we're at your house, at your home now. Is that 2172?
2172 State Route 140.
State Route 140.
Yeah.
Okay. Just over the hill here is a little place they call Slocum Station.
Well, I used to tell everybody I owned a quarter of it because the sign was right out here
Oh, really?
in the garden. And I didn't know, but they moved the sign a mile down the road.
So you don't own as much Slocum
No.
Station anymore, do you?
No.
How long have you been in this house?
I built it in, well, we moved the basement in 56, 57.
Now, what are you employed now? Or are you retired?
No, I'm retired.
Retired from what?
Goodyear Atomic Curve, Martin Marietta.
How long did you work out there?
40 and a half years.
How much education do you have?
High school education.
Where did you graduate high school?
Medford High School, class 48.
48. Now, are you married, single, widowed, divorced, separated, or all the above?
Been married all my life.
From the moment of your birth, you're...
Seemed like, yeah. Yeah.
What's your wife's name?
Helen Genevieve Lance White.
We might get a picture of her in a little bit if she doesn't run off. Now, do you have any children?
Well, I've got 2 daughters,
What are their names?
Deborah Elaine and Regina Diane.
Now, let me ask you this. I like to get a little timeline here. What was your father's and your mother's names? What was your father's name?
My father was Tandy, T-A-N-D-Y, White.
Tandy White.
My mother was Ethel Ruth Cole White,
Cole, was that C-O-L-E?
C-O-L-E.
Okay. And where were they from?
She spent most of her life, both of them spent most of their life up on Allegheny Hill.
So that'd be around here. In fact, that's just...
Yeah, I was raised up there, yeah.
Okay. And now, what was your father's parents' names?
My father's father was Lewis White from Lawrence County, Kentucky.
L-E-W-I-S,
Mhm.
Lewis.
And my grandmother on my father's side was Dama Presley White.
Okay.
And she was born and raised in Grundy, Virginia.
Okay. Now, what was your mother's parents' names?
My mother's father was Lewis Edmund Cole. And my mother's mother was Bessie Cantor Cole, C-A-N-T-E-R.
Where were they from?
Well, my grandfather was from Tuttleville.
Tuttleville?
Tuttleville,
Okay.
southeast of Manford.
Uh-huh.
And my grandmother, at the time they were married, lived at Peppermint.
Okay. Now, let's kind of go in the other direction there. You told me you had 2 daughters.
Mhm.
Now, what were their names again? The old
Deborah Lane is the oldest.
Deborah.
And Regina Diane.
Regina. Now, Deborah, does she have children?
She has 5.
5. Do you know their
4 boys and a girl.
You know their names?
Andrew, Michael, Angela Marie. She's married to Adam Dingle.
Uh-huh.
And the next one is Alan Miles.
Uh-huh.
Aaron,
You know-
it's him, and Adam.
You didn't know there'd be a test, did you?
Oh, well,
You're getting an A so far, you're doing pretty good there. Okay. So you're a grandpa.
yes.
Are you a great-grandpa?
Yes.
Now, which of the one, how many
Alan Lender.
Uh-huh.
Deborah is married to Carl Lender Jr.,
Uh-huh.
Carl Edward Lender. Or
Mhm.
Which is it, Edward Carl or Carl Edward? Carl Edward.
All right.
Alan is married to
Say that again.
Music.
Tracy?
Tracy Music, isn't it? Tracy Music.
Okay, and they have,
Downtown.
they have.
They have a
great-
little girl, she's year
Okay.
old.
And you had how many great-grandchildren then?
I've just got the one and the step great grandson.
Okay.
Two expected.
Two more expected,
Two more.
yes. Yeah. That
Okay,
makes
now,
you feel
now,
a little older.
does it? I have a first grandchild here. Well, he'll be a year old here in a couple of days.
Well, my youngest grandchild is going to college.
Gracious. Now, these are all Deborah's children,
Mhm.
right? Now, what was the other daughter's name?
Regina.
Regina. And does she have children?
Yes.
Okay, how many does she have?
Two boys.
And their names are?
The one that was just here, Jeremy Mark,
Mm-hmm.
and the younger one is Justin.
What is it? Justin somebody.
Yeah, it's Jeff. Huh?
Isn't that awful when you forget everything?
Yeah, you get older, you can't remember names at all. Even your kids.
Even your own kids.
It's
Maybe
Justin
maybe that's
Franklin, Justin Franklin.
Survival
Yeah.
tech.
And now they're whites.
Okay,
She live in, never did marry.
okay.
I didn't approve it, but that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes with
But it's
this.
over now,
I
though.
know, I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
He's gone.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Did you join the Army in Louisville?
No, I was drafted.
And
I was
when
drafted.
did you go in the service?
I was drafted 9th of March in 1951.
And 9th of March, 1950. Well, that'd be during the Korean War, wouldn't it?
Mhm. Right,
Okay.
right.
Did you go to Korea?
No, I was on orders twice to Korea and both times they were canceled.
Now, you were drafted, and how did you feel about being drafted?
Really, it was an experience. I really didn't hate it. Most of my friends were already in,
Uh-huh.
and
So you could
it
do
just,
that.
yeah, it just my civic duty, I guess.
You must have been around 20
I was 20.
when you
I
were.
wasn't quite 21.
Where did you go for your basic training?
Well, I left here and went to Fort Meade, Maryland, the induction center. Was there a week, took all kind of tests, and they issued clothing. And then we went to Camp Pickett, Virginia. I took my basic training at Camp Pickett.
How many weeks was that?
Oh, I was there, well, I had the 6 weeks basic and then the 10 weeks of advanced training.
Okay.
Then I was in the 522nd Military Police Company.
So your advanced AIT was for military police?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my MOS,
Where
4677.
where did you take your MP training?
I took it right there at Camp Pickett.
Also Camp Pickett?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that like, Camp Pickett? Was that?
It was a big reservation.
Uh-huh.
We took care of the gates,
Mhm.
did the MP duties, patrol town,
What town's nearby?
Blackstone.
Blackstone?
It's about 60 miles south of Richmond.
Okay. So you were there about...
I was there until latter part of December. 51,
Mm-hmm.
and I came home and delay en route. About the third week of, I had 30-day leave, delay en route.
Mm-hmm.
About the third week of January, I reported, or second week of January, I reported to Camp Kilmer, New Jersey.
Camp Gilmer.
Kilmer,
Kilmer.
Kilmer,
Okay.
And-
Where's that near?
Gee, I don't know, it's in the middle of the state, or
Okay.
closer to New York City, I guess.
Okay. Were you married by that time?
No, not yet.
When did you get married?
September the 9th. Yeah, I was married in 51. September the 9th, 51.
You better get that right, she's
Yeah.
watching you.
Yeah,
She's listening to every word you
Yeah.
say.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
you were married by that time?
yeah, by that time I was married.
Okay, Camp Kilmer. How long were you there?
All week to 10 days. And,
What was that for? 10 days?
well, that was just a delay. They sent me to the United States Army Caribbean, which we rode the train over to New York,
Mhm.
got on a ferry boat down around Manhattan to Brooklyn Army Base,
Okay.
and we got on a ship there,
What was the name of the ship?
the George W. Gothel's.
Okay.
It was a Canal Zone ship,
Okay, is that where you were going, heading
Mhm.
for? The Canal Zone?
Canal Zone.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent, I don't know, 12, 14 days on the water. One day in San Juan, Puerto Rico, on the
Mhm.
way down.
What was that like, San Juan?
Well, it was a break getting off the
I
ship.
bet it was.
It was nice down there.
Mm-hmm.
What it would be all the time, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I was just right there in San Juan.
That's pretty monotonous, being on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
to do with it.
I volunteered to help a night baker.
On the ship?
On the ship.
The night baker, this is
Yeah.
the guy that go in at
Well, I
night.
did all the baking, yeah.
He'd make your bread and stuff like that.
Yeah. I learned how to make twist.
Uh-huh.
We baked bread, rolls. And we ate good.
Did you?
Yeah. He would go up and get food from the first class area, out of the
Mhm.
food locker up there. We ate good.
Well, who would be in first class? The officers?
Officers.
When were you discharged from the service?
On the third day of March in 53,
What was your rank?
corporal.
Okay, so now you're on the ship, you get a break there at San Juan, and you get back in the ship, and you go to the Canal Zone.
We go down we land at Cristobal, which is on the Atlantic side of the canal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stationed at Atlantic Sector Headquarters at Fort Gulick in the 20th Military Police Company, and which we patrolled all that sector there,
Mm-hmm.
including Cristobal and Colon.
Mm-hmm.
Cristobal was in the Canal Zone, Colon was in the Republic. And we furnished, due to the fact that a lot of Navy personnel came in, night on the town,
Uh-huh.
different ships, we patrolled with the Nationalist Police in a Jeep. We patrolled in Colon as well,
Mhm.
all night spots.
Okay, is that, did you go anywhere else other than the Canal Zone?
No,
Okay.
no.
And then when you were discharged, were you in the Canal Zone or sent back to the
Well, I was
States?
sent back to States
Okay.
for discharge. They flew us from Albrook down there to Mobile, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, and then we rode a train up to Opelika, Georgia, and got on to central Georgia over to Fort Benning. That's where I was discharged from, Fort Benning.
Now, when you were down in the Canal Zone, you were a military police,
Mhm.
MP, and your job was to patrol, you say, the night spots and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
And was that pretty rough sometimes? Some of the
Oh, yeah.
sailors could get crazy.
Yeah, well, that and the people people down there could go crazy too.
Really?
It really got rough when, anytime they had an election.
Oh, when Panamanians had an election?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, they'd actually be shooting.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And there was animosity, both sides, I guess.
Okay, okay. Were the Navy guys pretty rough to handle?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Now, you were an MP, they had their shore
They
patrol.
had short, well, worked together.
You guys will work
Oh,
together?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mostly it was, if you did write one of them up, usually you just get him back to his ship.
Mhm.
But if you did write him up, it was usually just PC, protective custody.
Okay. And how was it working with the National Police there?
We got along good. It was usually the same ones day in and day out.
So you got to know each other?
Got to know each other, and they'd even go out to the base with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We rode in the Jeeps, two of us to the Jeep. We drove, and of course they rode with us.
Mhm.
And it was interesting duty, put it that way. A lot of the area there in Cologne was off limits. We see a service personnel in there, we'd run him out.
Mhm.
It was interesting. A different life.
I'll bet it was. Now, just let me see here. What, do you keep in touch with any of the friends you made in the service or anything?
No, the only ones that I see are the ones that was drafted the same day I was. I
Oh,
see
okay.
2 or 3 of those.
Would those be local people?
Local
Okay.
people.
Did you ever see anybody famous, like movie stars or anything like that, or generals? What?
Oh, generals. At Camp Pickett in the fall of '51, the 43rd Infantry Division was training, or they'd taken their training at Camp Pickett. And they were passing review before going to Germany. This is in the fall of '51. The day that they passed review, well, that night I had worked in the stockade night shift, 12 to 8. And I went to bed, and about 10 o'clock, the first sergeant comes in and he says, woke me up, he says, I need for you to go down on the main gate. I said, are you having some kind of problem? No. He said, the guys down there just, they don't look good enough to suit us. Get you a clean uniform on and get down there. So I said, okay. We had the spats and the chains in our trousers. I don't know, I diked up best I could. And white gloves. I went down and relieved the guy that was on the gate. Well, there was 2 of them. There's 2 of us went down. And I don't know, it was busy. We had all these, the 43rd Infantry Division was made up of National Guard from the New England states. All kind of governors, lieutenant governors, state officials were coming in, and 17 generals.
17 of them.
17 generals.
Gracious.
So I'm there on the gate,
Were you by yourself?
on that side, on the inside, yes. I'm busy directing traffic in, people stopping, I'm telling them where to go, so on and so forth. And one car after another then lined up, and the voice behind me says, has Mark Clark showed up yet? And I didn't even turn around. I said, no, sir, he hasn't. I kept right on going. About 10, 15 minutes later, I got a break, and I'd been talking to this gentleman all this time. I never turned around and looked at him.
With your back to it.
Yeah. And it was Lieutenant General Kramer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, he knew you were
Oh,
busy.
yeah, he talked just like any other GI.
Right,
Really,
that's
yeah.
good. What's the most interesting thing that happened to you as an MP? Any story you could tell me? Maybe
No, nothing serious.
Maybe an
Nothing-
arrest or anything?
Nothing serious. Well, we didn't have any problem. Usually,
Did you ever have to arrest an officer?
well, we had trouble with one officer.
What happened?
He was drunk
Uh-huh.
and tried to talk to him. He,
Tried to pull rank.
oh yeah, he did. He did pull rank.
What was his rank?
He was a major.
Was he a major?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And our CO was a captain. We got a hold of him and he wrote that major the riot act, you know. He set him straight.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That's the way it should have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
The captain was a duty officer and he straightened the major out. In fact, I think they wound up taking him to his barracks.
The major? Hopefully sobered up, understood.
Yeah, I was working, at one time down there, I was working relieving the company clerk that came home on leave. And it wasn't long after we got down there, one of the old gentlemen that went down with us was a corporal. And he had been in the Army for years, up and down.
Up and down in rank.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Why is a corporal?
Yeah. The captain hollers out of his office, he says, what was that guy's name? He always said he was Timothy Tucker from Tuckerville, Tennessee, but that wasn't his name. But anyhow, captain says, send him in, I need to talk to him. And of course he didn't even close the door. We went up and got him. He came down, he was expecting it, I guess. Well, he went to the opening game of the Winter Baseball League there in Cologne, and he was drunk. So when the Canal Zone governor and the Panamanian governor stood up to throw out the first ball, he hollers, sit down, you'd make a better door than you would have winded. They hauled him out. He was drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, the captain says, you've been in this man's army since 1924. Now this was 51.
Oh my gosh.
And he says, you've been up and down the ladder like a yo-yo. And he says, I read here that you spent all of World War II in the Navy. Yes, they discussed it. In fact, he was on in 1924-25, he was on the Army rifle team.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Pretty good at something,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. He was a character.
Do you still have your uniform?
I've got one pair of OD trousers and two OD shirts.
Can you still get in them?
I can get in the shirts. I can get in the shirts.
She was laughing at you.
I can get in the shirts.
Now, you are the commander of one of the Legion posts around here, aren't you?
Post 622 in Medford.
Medford, Ohio.
Yeah.
And now, is there anything else you want to say, Howard, or anything?
I don't know what it would be.
Okay.
That, well, I will say that I really appreciate my military service.
Did you go into reserves after you got out or anything?
No, I was automatically placed in the inactive reserves. I should have, but when I came home, I went to work out to the A plant and working shift work, and you just can't get involved.
So your time in the military was beneficial, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned. it
Who's
was.
that guy up on the wall there?
That's me. That was taken down in the Canal Zone.
Is that right? Let me
Yeah.
see if I can get that. I don't know. Oops. That's you and your MP
Uh,
uniform in it. Let's see. There's some glare on there, maybe. Oh, that ought to come through pretty good. How old were you when that was taken?
I was 21, maybe 22 at the time that was taken.
Well, we are. Okay. What's your wife's name?
White,
What's her first name?
Howard.
Her first name.
Her first name, Helen
Helen?
Genevieve.
Helen, come here a minute. You know this guy we've been talking to?
Yeah, thank
Okay. How long have you known him? All your life, huh?
Right,
All right.
right.
Have you been married 50 years yet?
51.
51 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we darn. Okay. Well, thanks a lot there. Let me put this back. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you did.
Yeah,
You think we can get some of those other guys over
I
there?
think so. I think so.
All right. I'd
But
sure
I still
like to.
think- I still think it would be better if you could get a couple of them together.
You think a group?
A group, yes.
Think that'd be
Yes.
possible? But-
Well, I'll talk to them and see if I
Okay.
can.
Would you?
I'd like to get 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
We've got some D-Day veterans out there.
Oh, wow.
But,
Who?
well, Archie and
Was he at
Don
D-Day?
Howard. Huh?
Archie was at D-Day?
Yeah.
He went all the way through?
Yeah, he was in the airborne, went in on a glider.
Oh. Okay.
Was there through the Battle of the Bulge.
Let me show you some of the names